Sagittarius, how are you? Let's do a reading for your current energy, shall we? As always, please take what works, leave what doesn't. We all know who we are in the story. And I sure appreciate each and every one of you. I really do. And if you appreciate what I do here, help me out. Hit that like button. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. It really makes a difference to my channel. And I would love to see my channel continue to grow. So that's how you can help me make that happen. But let's see what's going on for the next 7 to 10 days for all of my Saggies. Grateful, thankful. Look at that, the Wheel of Fortune. Things are starting to turn. Yay, maybe you've been struggling with things turning. Some of you may be looking for a home. You know, the Wheel of Fortune did land on the home. So maybe things are going to start to turn in a better direction. If you've been looking, you've been wanting to buy a house, rent a house, I feel like something might be coming through. All right, let's see what's going on, though. Let's see what other messages we have for you, Sagittarius. All right, we have the Knight of Pentacles coming in reversed to the Ten of Pentacles. Wow, without any effort, I feel like you could really make some money. You know, maybe this is something that you started, that you were working on. And I just feel like for some of you Sagittarians that, you know, without doing a lot of work, you could possibly land in with some good money. Maybe some of you actually inherit some money. But again, I feel like it has to do with your work. Because here we do have the Eight of Pentacles. You know, in your shop doing what you do. I just feel as if, you know, things are going to start to turn in your favor when it comes to that. So if you've been wondering when you're finally going to start making money, you know, from what it is you are doing, you know, I feel like it's finally going to hit, you know, and I think you are so close. Whether this happens this week, it's in the near future. All right, because we do have the Ace of Swords coming in here reversed. It's just been delayed, you know, but listen, things are changing. Pluto just moved into Aquarius, so I think there's going to be a big shift collectively across the board, you know, and this could include you, you know, so check and see where your Aquarius is in your chart, you know, and maybe that'll give you a little hint as to what's going on. Now, we do have the Empress here, you know, again, she's very, very pregnant. If this is about something that you have been working on, that you've been waiting for things to finally turn so that you can finally make some money, she's about to give birth. So, you know, you're on that brink of, you know, this could happen. For some of you Sagittarians, maybe some of you are pregnant. If you are, I feel like the time is getting near, you know, for this baby to pop out. But it is the act of creation. That is the energy of the Empress. You know, it is about, you know, how we create, you know, we birth something into reality. And I think you have been really doing something for quite a while now that you want it to really like happen. You know, it's time for this baby to be born. And I do feel like, you know, you are there. Look, here we do have the World card. This person is really happy, relaxed. She's sitting on the beach. She's throwing her hat up. We did it. And a new cycle can begin. So I'm excited for you, Sagittarius, because I think, you know, you have been wanting this for so long and finally it has arrived. Now let's look at some of the other cards, because I do see a relationship situation brewing with some of my Sagittarians. We do have here in the recent past the Knight of Swords. You know, this is a very assertive energy. And then we have the Knight of Cups. So there could be more than one person that is pretty interested in you. Or it could be the same person, somebody who is actively really wanting to go out with you. You know, the Knight of Cups is a wonderful energy when it comes to somebody making an offer to you. You know, and the fact that we do have this Knight of Swords as well coming in, I just feel as if, you know, they're not going to stop until you give them an answer. So if there has been somebody who, you know, has been really actively wanting to take you out, because here we do have the Two of Cups, they're not going to stop until you say yes. Right? Now, good or bad, you know, that's another thing, you know, because I'm feeling like the energies of them pursuing you with such aggressiveness and them like really determined that it has to be you. You need to be careful here, because we do have the Devil card coming in at the base of what's going on. And below that, we do have the Three of Swords. All right. You don't want to get involved with anybody who, you know, might end up being a little toxic. And I do sense that there is a toxic energy around this person, especially since I'm sensing that like they will not let go. You know, until you say yes, until we go out, I'm not going to stop. But here's the energy that concerns me. It is this Emperor coming in reversed. Okay, now this is somebody that they have a lot of control. They have a lot of power. But the problem with the Emperor when he comes in reverse, they abuse that, you know? So they will do whatever they can to reel you in, all right? Devil energy, reel you in, you know, until they got you and you're under their wing and now they're in your control. All right. So be careful with this energy of the Emperor because they'll promise you a lot. They'll deliver a lot. You'll think like, wow, this is too good to be true. It is. Right. So just be careful, you know, I mean, use your sense of intuition and discretion, you know, because I do see that you end up going out with them. All right. This is the final outcome. Right. We see two people out to dinner, having a glass of wine, enjoying each other's company. But you don't want to get trapped by this person. And here we have the Emperor and the Empress energy. You are just as powerful as them, you know, and, you know, I'm almost feeling like this is somebody that wants to trap you so much so that they would even go so far to try to get you pregnant, you know, because if they do that, then, you know, then you can't get away from them, you know, because from here on out, we have this child that will keep us connected. Be very careful of that energy. If you know that this person has that tendency to be over controlling, to really want you to do everything, you know, you've got to just really use your intuition to say, you know, I don't know whether or not I want to really get that serious with you. You are their equal, all right? They're coming up reversed as abusing their power. You're coming up upright, you know, as knowing who you are, you know? I mean, you are the divine feminine. This is a really powerful position for you to be in when you're in this Empress mode, going against somebody who is just as powerful, but they're abusing it. So just, you know, some red flags waving when it comes to this person. Because like I said, you know, why do they want to aggressively come after you? Why is it that they're trying to reel me in and promise me the world and give me everything I want? When, you know, I'm sitting on the fence. You know, you have to trust your intuition. Trust who you are. Trust that you know, have enough self-worth that you're not going to fall for what it is that they are promising you. Especially if, you know, there's been some ideas or some red flags already, you know, coming up. Because, you know, listen, they're coming at you aggressively. They don't want to let you go. They don't want you to go with anyone else. They want to possess you on some level. And here they are tempting you with everything that you want. So be very, very careful, Sagittarius, that you don't get involved with somebody who could really end up being more trouble than what they're worth. And like I say, I feel like they almost want to trap you, you know, and it's like, well, if I get them pregnant, then, you know, there is nothing they can do. Then, you know, forever and ever we're connected. I mean, to me, this is somebody who is emotionally not, you know, balanced because, you know, their reasoning doesn't match reality. And the fact that they do come up here as the Emperor reversed, I would really be very, very cautious as to what their true intentions are when it comes to you. But, you know, this is a good reading on a lot of levels because, you know, listen, that work that you've been after, it's happening. Things are working in your favor. Let's just keep that kind of energy going and not let it be distracted by somebody whose intentions are more about them than you. All right, so that's what I got for you, Sagittarius. Take what works, leave what doesn't. We all know who we are in the story. I sure appreciate you all. So if you appreciate me, hit that like button. Boink right there. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. So until the next time, be happy, be healthy, be kind. See ya.